are going to let out the primal scream to unleash the warrior inside us. Miss Brenda. Good. Not that. You have issues. Chris. Oh! Hey, come here.
I'm not really a screamer.
Scream like I'm squeezing into your balls. You're laughing at me, boy. Like I am squeezing into your balls.
Better?
Disappointing. Go. Next.
My father used to make pancakes in the morning, but I was not allowed to eat any! Why? Not every Asian kid needs to learn how to play the violin, Mom! I wanted to learn how to play baseball!
Troy. Excellent. Excellent.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Jean Pod Van Damme Cast. It is Jeff and John in studio to review 2013's Welcome to the Jungle, this not rated 1 hour and 35-minute action-adventure comedy.
It wasn't rated?
Apparently not. Where a company retreat on a tropical island goes terribly awry. And IMDb gave it a perfect 5.0 out of 10.
Very generous.
I will say that Van Damme got top billing for this, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't.
There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Recognizable faces in this.
Like a whole lot. I kept on, the main antagonist. I've seen him in several things, like several shows, like Human Giant and like other stuff like that.
Yeah.
Quite a bunch of other characters that are supporting characters in sitcoms, movies, and stuff like that, or just stand-up comedians in general.
Yep, exactly. So, directed by Rob Meltzer, writer Jeff Kaufman. We'll get into the cast and crew in a second here. The tagline is, "Unleash your inner beast."
It sounds like the tagline for an energy drink.
I know, it does, right? The release date was April 27, 2013. And it was filmed in Puerto Rico.
Huh.
So this seemed like one of those movies that they really wanted it to get into theaters, and it just ended up not being picked up in theaters.
Yeah.
Like they really thought maybe it would get in there, and I guess it didn't.
Yeah.
They really, like Funny or Die, I know we mentioned this on previous episodes. Funny or Die did a JCVD Make My Movie Challenge, and it kind of corresponded with Welcome to the Jungle, which we will be doing a separate review for that, for all of these Make My Movie challenges and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long that episode will be, but it will be long enough. It has its own individual IMDb credits, so we'll do that. We'll honor it. Van Damme plays Storm. Adam Brody plays Chris. Now, Adam Brody, you might know him from The OC as Seth Cohen. He was also in Mr. and Mrs. Smith as Benjamin Dance, Jennifer's Body as Nikolai.
He's been in a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff, man. He was in Chips. He's one of those actors always that you're kind of like, where do I know him from? He was in Yoga Hosers as Ichabod.
Amazing filmography this man has had.
I know him. I'm not gonna lie. I know him from The OC, so I'll just say that. No regrets. I loved The OC.
I never saw it.
It was exactly what you would think a mid-2000s television drama about teenagers would be.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Death and Love. Look at this one. This one looks...
Whoa.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, we gotta review this one. The devastating legacy of a liaison between a concentration camp inmate and a Nazi doctor reflects on the lives of her sons.
What?
What? Oh my gosh.
That's either that just oh man, is that
What?
directed by like Uwe Boll or something? That's
exactly.
it sounds like
right?
shocksploitation.
Yeah, man. I don't know at all. Wow.
That's some touchy stuff.
Whew. Did not mean to get further into the rabbit hole on that one.
Spicy one.
Okay. Maybe. Do you know his last name? I know this guy. You've seen him in a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, it's Rob Hubba Bubble.
He
It's Rob
plays
Hubba Bubba.
Phil. He's known for The Descendants. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World as Jeremy. I Love You Man as Tevin Downey. I believe he's in Transparent, which is another Amazon television series where he plays the husband of one of the kids there, the oldest daughter. And I like Transparent. I don't know if a lot of
As Jeffrey Tambor is a
where he
person
plays
transitioning
into a woman. Yeah, he was in Keanu. Hey, look at that.
Hey,
he's Workaholics, Archer. Like I said, a lot of stuff. Like Drunk History, a lot of comedy.
He's actually
stuff.
really funny in some of the stuff I've seen him in.
Yeah. The League. He was in The League. He was.
Oh, that's right. He was in The League. Yeah.
He was the sex addict in The League, and that was some funny stuff as well. Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. You see his face, you know him. Kristen Shaw plays Brenda. You might know her from Bob's Burgers.
Yep.
And Last Man on Earth.
If you don't recognize her face, you'll definitely recognize her voice.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Gravity Falls, Mabel Pines, Norbit. Why is she known for Morbid? Seriously, she's not known for her Norbit is the third one. Is this like a troll joke? She's a comedian as well.
She's actually really funny. I saw her stand up.
She did a hilarious little bit with I'm trying to remember the other guy. I know his face, but I don't know really what else he's done. I think he was in Eastbound and Down as the principal, if it's the same guy.
Oh, okay.
Or it might be another dude who looks fairly similar to him, which I'm thinking it might be another dude. So I apologize.
I just say it was that guy.
They did one of those like skits where it basically it's funny, then it's not funny, then it's really not funny, then it gets funny again, and then they just kill it.
Yeah.
They really kill it. And they kept going on and on until people basically kicked him off stage. I really liked it.
That's good. I like humor like that.
Megan Boone played Lisa, and she was in Blacklist as Elizabeth Keene. Leave Me Like You Found Me as Erin. My Bloody Valentine 3D as Megan. Oh, is she from Michigan? From Petoskey, Michigan. Hey, there we go.
Yep, local girl.
Let's have her on the show.
Hell yeah.
Oh, she's only been in 17 things. Robot Chicken.
Oh, she's another one with quite the pedigree, I see.
Yeah, man.
It's another 6 degrees of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I know, right? She was in Family Games, Blue Bloods. If you like Tom Selleck.
My parents watched that show.
Oh yeah, I think that is a parent show.
Yeah,
for real.
It's not a bad show.
It's not a bad show. It isn't.
Even if it has a
Isn't
Wahlberg
Donnie?
in it.
I was gonna say Donnie Wahlberg's in it too. Cold Case, The Cleaner. Yeah, she's in a handful of television. And let's see. The last person I'll talk about is Eric Edelstein, who played Jared. He's another familiar face.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to think what he was in Jurassic World.
Who's in Jurassic World?
Paddock Supervisor? Is that what they say? Wow. Let's see. Green Room as Big Justin. I'm trying to remember all that I saw him in. American Dad is Lonnie Bowmanferg.
Is that show still on the air?
I guess so, because it's up there with like on his top credits from
the
2017.
Cleveland show's been canceled though, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. He was in Fresh Off the Boat. If you know that one.
I do not.
I like that one. That's a fun show. Twin Peaks. He was in Twin Peaks.
I do know that one.
Adam Ruins Everything. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Who is he in Guardians of the Galaxy?
The TV series.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I tried correcting myself. It was already out of my mouth.
There's a Guardians of the Galaxy TV series?
We Bear Bears. It's a cartoon series.
Oh.
He was only in it for one episode.
We Bear Bears. My nieces love that show.
Yeah, he
does a lot of voice work, I guess.
Oh, Patchwork. He is Lloyd. That's a comedy horror movie. Pig, Goat, Banana, Cricket. on Nickelodeon.
All right.
Oh, he does a lot of animated. I'm trying to remember what I've seen him in. Parks and Recreation. He plays Lawrence for 3 episodes. And The Hills Have Eyes too. He was the spitter. Oh man! All right, I'm done.
You're beyond done.
Yeah, dude. I dragged this out way longer. You know, I get into these once the cast and familiar faces, and I want to tell you guys so much. I want to get more involved in it, more than I should, and this is what happens. So we open up in some boardroom with some guys in toilet paper, where we see this new creation called Creighton Koala, and everyone's going crazy about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, woo woo!" It's almost like A Christmas Story in a way when Ralphie is like, talking about his essay with the Red Ryder BB gun. It's actually all just a dream that Chris is having at his cubicle when one of the office mates want Chris to pitch him the idea. That's Phil, the douche in the movie. And they shoot his idea down. He's like, "Oh, it's absolutely terrible. You don't want to take this idea to the head guy. You know what? You need me to help you clean this up."
The head guy's, their boss is the Allstate.
Yep, the Allstate guy. Exactly. Yeah.
And he also plays, he was in, this one always cracked me up. He was in the Sin City sequel.
Yes.
Playing the role that Michael Clark Duncan played.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, because Michael Clark Duncan passed away before
he
Sin
left
City
us.
2. Yeah. They shoot his idea down, and then we see Chris liking the HR girl, Lisa, but he's always awkward around her. Oh,
yeah.
Big surprise there.
They really drag that one out throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. He sees that they screwed him over. Phil basically screwed him over. And he finds out that the pitch was at 2:15. He was told a different time. And we see that Phil is pitching Chris's idea. He tries telling the boss about it, but Allstate just won't listen.
And he makes several dick jokes,
yeah, he makes
like jacking
a lot
off
of dick jokes,
and like
yeah, man.
sexually uncomfortable stuff,
which
you better get used to throughout this entire movie,
Yeah.
because that's 90% of the humor
Yep,
in it.
exactly. Yep. So Van Damme ends up coming into the office, and the whole office is mesmerized by him. And we find out that they're sending everyone to a wilderness team retreat training event. He's like, "My name is Storm Rothschild." He says he went to the School of Hard Knocks and also DeVry University.
Couple courses in web design.
Yep. And Chris is like looking at the pamphlet and whatnot. I wrote down, "I need lube on the pamphlet."
Yeah,
that's what he
put
wrote.
a word bubble.
Yeah, he put the word
I
bubble.
need
That's
because he
right.
was screaming on the pamphlet.
Yeah, yeah. And Van Damme sees it, and he's like, "Strike one." We get a talk about negotiation, teamwork, leadership. They end up getting into the cargo plane. The pilot looks ancient. Like Van Damme has to direct the poor dude into the seat. They arrive on the island safe and sound.
They went to an island for their wilderness retreat.
Yeah. Welcome to Big Mama Nature's house. Someone says, was it Van Damme says, "Am I smelling marijuana?" Watch yourself, Kumar, because I got my eye on you.
All of his lines, I don't know if it's just because it was him delivering them. They all seemed hilarious.
Right, yeah.
The rest of it just seemed really like late 90s, crappy, like college
humor stuff. It was very college humor stuff. And like, kind of Funny or Die in a way.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep. Except for
it's late or early 2000 teens, and this is all kind of like mid to late 2000 comedy, like when that those websites were getting a lot of popularity to them.
Like this almost felt like college humor skit or like a Mad TV skit or something.
Yeah,
that just got stretched out to feature length.
Could almost be too much forced laughter.
Yeah,
like you just you're starting
stretching
to feel...
jokes too far, but not in the purposely entertaining way. And they don't realize it's not funny anymore way.
Yeah. You said it, I think, off air. You called this was this a National Lampoon's movie?
It was like a National,
not like a fun National Lampoon's like 80s we're talking about.
The bad kind.
No, it was the ones that everyone forgets about, and it's like National Lampoon's Frat House.
Yeah.
What?
Ooh.
They're still making movies? Or like I hate to even say it, but some of like the off-brand American Pie series that became like the new National Lampoons.
Yep. This reminds me of like something that was a pitch for a show on Comedy Central that just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Like the 15,000 ones they have out a year where they just throw everything out at the wall and see what sticks.
Yep, and see which one sticks.
One of the ones that bounced off.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. So they see that the girls are getting changed. We get some nudity there.
Yep.
All of them are spying on the girls, but we end up seeing that it was like Chris ends up making an awkward moment where he pops out and he's just like, look, bird watching, and then he mentions he actually mentions birds and how he's basically a huge nerd. And then I said, was that Chris Van Damme? He was the don't fucking push me guy. Van Damme is talking around the campfire, talking about Pinocchio.
Yeah, he makes it sound like he's talking about Lord of the Flies,
yes,
or like boys on an island.
Yeah.
Turned into animals, but the animals were donkeys, and it was Pinocchio. That actually was really funny.
Yeah, I did like that one. It's the next morning. Van Damme wants them all to unleash a primal scream from the warrior inside. Scream like I am squeezing into your balls.
And then he says it 5 more times just to make sure you get the joke.
Yep, yeah. Troy's screaming. There's Troy who he does his little bit where, it's kind of like you expected this from someone, but he's like, fuck you, Mom, I don't want to play piano. And it's like Van Damme's like, yeah, now that's a scream. And then they're all blindfolded and they're doing this weird 3-legged race, and Van Damme's playing a tiger tape to scare them. And then Chris is the one who spoils it. And he's like, guys, it's just a tape. But then Van Damme starts exploding stuff around them. He's like, it's not a game, it's a war. Troy and Phil win. They're teamed up, and so obviously this goes to Phil's head because he's already an egomaniac. Meanwhile, Chris goes to relieve himself, and he ends up pissing on the pilot, who is actually dead. And people start freaking out. The girls say that they actually did see a tiger.
Yes.
Van Damme is not convinced. He says, so let's go see this tiger. He's talking about there being no tiger on the island, and then, of course, it attacks him.
Yep. For 5 minutes.
Yep. So then we got
it's just rolling around with him.
Yeah, Van Damme starts to try to be calm about it, and it attacks him again. Stick your finger in the anus. It leaves again. It's okay, everyone. It won't come back. And it attacks him again. Is Van Damme dead? He fell off the cliff, and then he disappears. Meanwhile, Phil tries to move in on Lisa, but she isn't having it. Wrong time to do it, Phil. Phil is now getting the crowd all nervous and scared, being an asshole. We see that Brenda gets bit by a snake. They find the first aid kit, but it's full of Dave Matthews bootlegs. Oh, man. So some people start saying Chris should be in charge because we find out Chris was basically an Eagle Scout and he knows his way around.
Silver Beaver.
They immediately, Silver Beaver. That's the joke that goes on throughout the whole thing, the Silver Beavers. They immediately start collecting walnuts, doing laundry, getting bananas, building a fire for a signal. We see that Phil is talking about what if things get even worse. We should eat Javier. And poor Javier, he's like, we should eat him first. He's the fattest. Javier's just sitting there what? Huh? Everyone's napping now. And it's just after only a little bit of work, kind of, hey, funny, office guys, everyone's lazy. We're starting to see that there's a divide amongst the party. Phil comes in with some old tainted meat and coffee. And they're now around a campfire and people are joining sides. Phil yells chaos and people seem to agree. Troy puts some Jimson weed into the coffee and it ends up becoming an orgy now. Everyone's high on Jimson weed and drinking this coffee, Jimson weed drink, going crazy. It's the next morning. People are passed out everywhere. Javier is throwing up. The signal fire is now out. Phil makes a funny little comment. I gotta say, Troy, I've never seen your penis before. You got a nice one. And Troy's like, thanks. and that's it. It starts getting really Lord of the Flies-esque here.
Yeah.
Chris and the 3 others leave to go to the other side of the island. It's he and Jared, Lisa, the HR girl, and what's her name? From Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
I should just slip my mind. Sorry.
It's all right.
That's all right. You guys get the picture. Chris and the HR girl are having a heart-to-heart talking about life. It's getting serious until Brenda was her name. Brenda yells that she has to take a shit.
This part was when I was... she literally, they just dragged this joke out for 5 minutes.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah, they really wanted you to know that she had to take a shit.
Yep.
You don't think anything's going to bite my pussy?
Yeah. I was like, oh, man.
And then Brenda screams, and they find Van Damme.
He's alive.
HR Lisa slaps him for getting him stranded. That's really nice. Slap the wounded dude. His wound is infected, and they find out he's a fraud that has never been in the military. But
didn't he say it was like Desert Storm?
Yeah, he was
Desert Rain.
They're like, oh yeah, where were you? Desert Storm, Desert Rain, Desert Rose.
Yeah.
But they see though that Van Damme found a bomb shelter, and he wants them to have a sleepover. Can we play Truth or Dare? He says, needles, no needles. I hate needles. He's like, I'm okay. I'll be fine. As blood starts coming out of his mouth. They put Van Damme in a wheelbarrow and they get him out of there. They're now spying on Phil's tribe. They're worshiping a statue that they made of him. And they have guards stationed at the plane. And, well, they need to get to the plane because there's a radio in the bomb shelter, but something's broken on that. Whereas the radio in the plane, something's broken on that. But if they took something from the plane and put it in the bomb shelter, everything would be working. So Chris decides to go speak to Phil. Orko is Phil's new name. They tried to eat some of Javier's fingers, but it was too gamey. Yeah. Javier shows his hand. It's missing some fingers. Storm's wound is starting to smell, and they won't give Chris the radio. Lisa and Chris are having another heart-to-heart. Van Damme interrupts them this time. He basically repeats everything that Lisa says.
Like you can see him like stopping to think about what she said and like getting it right.
Yep.
And, like nodding.
Yep. And then she's like, you just said what I said. He's like, no, I said kind of like what you said, but I added some words to it. They end up taking out the guards on the plane to get the radio, but the rest of the workers start throwing spears, which the team has to take off, and they leave Van Damme behind.
While he's doing his bird call.
Yeah.
That was really good, too.
From the wheelbarrow, he's doing it. Oh, yeah, that was funny. Chris trips and knocks himself out. He wakes up to see all of his friends have been grabbed. The next day, they bring forth the prisoners. Meanwhile, Chris is going Rambo. The tribe wants to kill them. Punishment is death by execution. They're about to kill Dale when Chris yells and has a crazy paragliding get-up on. He glides down, causing everyone to be in awe of him because they're still entranced by this Jensen weed. And he's like, he creates fire. He's like, I can create fire, but he accidentally lights his wings on fire, though the tribe really digs it. It looks all weird, and it shows it in their little haze, their purple haze. So instead, they decide to do a fight to the death in the Pit of Destiny, which is also the Pit of Shame. So it's Chris versus Phil or Orko. I think it was Chris Van Damme saying, this is fucking sick, man. It's gay. It's gross. All the meanwhile having a boner.
Yeah.
It like goes down to his pants. Chris wins, starts telling people what to do. Phil comes up behind and knocks him down. He's about to chop Chris up. Van Damme kicks Phil, continues yelling. There was the Van Damme trope right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like kicks him, he's like, ah! And everyone's like, what are you doing? Chris shoots the flare at the statue, lights it on fire, and it's convenient that there's a ship right there. Storm says his tiger attack was all a test. You pass. And he's like, okay, I'm lying.
What fucking island are they on?
I know, right?
It's like
honestly, yeah.
World War II bunker, there's tigers.
Yeah, it's they were on Lost.
And they could,
Lost.
pretty much. They could fly there from an old prop plane.
Yeah,
like,
man. Yeah. Meanwhile, like this naval security or whatever, the Coast Guard is just like, "Hey, are you so and so, aka so and so, aka so and so?" Storm, you're arrested for impersonating a naval officer.
He did use the word the name Van Varenberg in there too.
He did, yeah, exactly. They did throw that. Van Damme wants Chris to write and come visit him
at least a week.
Yeah,
once a week, one letter a week.
Yeah, sure, okay. Oh yeah, and Lisa has a crush on you. Chris goes up and kisses her while telling the rescuer to watch out, Gilligan, which I thought was kind of goofy. Back at the office, Allstate tells him he has big balls, and he promotes him to the senior VP of design. But he doesn't take the promotion. He quits. And so does Lisa from HR. And you're just like, well, that was a terrible move to make.
Yeah.
You should have sued the company, actually.
Yes, for gigantic amounts of money.
Going on this expedition. Meanwhile, Phil is riding to Troy on the island because he's sad and lonely.
And then he hears a tiger roar at the end.
Yep, and then that's that.
They didn't arrest him for attempted murder.
I know, right?
Or like sexual coercion. Or
they're like, nope, you'll stay on the island. So that was it. That was Welcome to the Jungle, man.
Yeah, it sure was.
So on a scale of 1 to 10 with our splits, how many splits would you give this?
Oh, man. PU. This movie, I don't think I had a worse time slogging through a movie than I did with this one, because at least with like other movies, you have more Van Damme in it. I mean, he was in it a decent amount.
Yeah.
But like the ones in which we reviewed where he only had cameos, we normally just reviewed the cameos.
Right,
so.
yeah. Yeah, this one was kind of weird because it was like, okay.
He was a major character in the movie.
Yeah, he's in it. He's not in it for the full amount of time.
God,
but, he's in it for a good chunk.
I mean, yeah, it was just, maybe a 3.
Whoo, man. Yeah, you went low on it, huh?
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Wow. I laughed at some parts. Some parts I
Yeah.
thought were a little exaggerated, and
God, like, I hope something doesn't reach up and bite my pussy. Like, yeah, I get like,
I get it. Okay.
Yep, we all get
I gotta take a shit.
Yep.
Because I gotta take a shit.
And
Yep.
she went from, being a, what was it? She loved bunnies or whatnot.
Yeah.
She went from...
Oh, yeah. And there was that one part where she was rubbing
Van Damme.
his ears like a rat.
You're like a little bunny, my little bunny.
Could feed you a carrot. I would like that.
Yes, yeah.
See, like, those interactions were really good.
It was good, yeah.
I felt like they just focused all their funny lines on Van Damme.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if it's just because of his delivery, and then everyone else was crappy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It was something.
It was something.
I would give it a 6.5. I want to go 3.
I think that's our biggest discrepancy.
I think so,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, this is the one that ends it. Welcome to the Jungle ends our friendship. That's it. We're done. We're done. I can't believe you didn't like this movie.
You felt differently about it than me?
What?
In any way, shape, or form?
No, I do think this is our biggest discrepancy.
Yeah, I think we might have had like a 2-point difference on one or something.
Yeah, no, this one, I think the reason why I like it so much is because of Van Damme.
Yeah.
It. That's
well,
it.
yeah,
Like,
the movie wouldn't be watchable.
right.
All
Yeah, if I would have watched this once and would have been like, oh, that was all right. It was definitely just because of Van Damme. All right, so on to the trivia portion of it, and it's basically something that you already said. Well, it is something. One of the aliases Jean-Claude Van Damme is accused of being his actual real name. That's it. That's really surprising. That's the only piece of trivia in that. All right, we have a decent amount of quotes here. Storm, be not afraid, my noble jungle brother.
See that?
Troy. Not every Asian kid needs to have violin lessons, Mom. I wanted to play baseball. Phil. I don't like nuts, and Javier would feed a lot for people. Lisa. There's a time to be nice, and then there's also a time when you have to say enough is enough and stick your foot so far up a prick like Phil's ass that he chokes on your fucking shoelaces. And I think now is one of those times. Dramatic pause. I do too.
Yeah.
How did you...
I thought he was sitting like 5 feet away from
It was. Listen, Chris, there's a time to play nice, and there also comes a time when you have to say enough is enough and stick your foot so far up a brook like Phil's ass that he chokes on your own fucking shoelaces. That is literally exactly what I just said. No, I just tweaked it a little bit. No, word for word. I had my own little spin, okay? Chris, Phil has had a statue of himself made. Brenda, solid craftsmanship.
I do remember thinking the same thing.
Yeah, man, that's I did too, honestly. I was like, wow, good on them. All right, that's it. That was Welcome to the Jungle. Up next, we have Enemies Closer, rated R, hour and 25-minute action thriller. Hopefully this is actually out. It's not kind of like Full Love. I've never heard anything about this film. I'm very interested to see what it's all about. I can't remember if we said that who had been playing in it on air, but I know off air we had made mention that the Make 7 Up Yours guy was in it, and that made us
excited. The first
excited.
one, right? Orlando.
Yes, yep, Orlando Jones.
Yep.
Evolution.
Yeah,
one of those
Evolution
films.
fame, if
Yep,
you can call
exactly.
it that. And Mad TV fame.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. So there we have it, man. That's it. We hope you enjoyed that episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Here's the usual spiel. You know it by now. Say it with me. If you enjoy what we do, please rate us 5 stars on iTunes. If you really enjoy what we do, patreon.com/podbros. Or if you shop on Amazon, use our link, podbros.com. Scroll down. Doesn't cost you anything. What's that? But helps us out in the long run. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm John.
And I'm Jeff.
And you have been listening to the Jean Pod Van Damme cast.
I gotta take a shit!
Wow, you really channeled her.
You see, it is no tiger. What are the chances of a dangerous animal in this island? 0, okay? So just... Nobody move. The beast is a gentle spirit. He's scared. Be unafraid, my noble jungle dweller. Your brother mean no harm. Stick a finger into the tiger's headers! Stick a finger into the tiger's headers!
Nobody wants to put a finger in his asshole!
It's how you used to do an attacking dog!
Troy, that's you! Get up out of here!
No, I don't want to!
Troy, you have to!
I don't want to do it!
It's okay, everyone. It's over. We won't come back.